Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Southern Virginia University basketball. Jim Bresnahan, Mike Harmon getting ready for another doubleheader here from the Knight Sports Arena. Tonight's opponent, the Mary Washington Eagles. As always, the women's game up first, followed by the men's contest. And in the women's contest today, we've got a very good Mary Washington team coming in with a record of 9-4 in the season. They've only lost once, Mike, in the Capital Conference. Southern Virginia coming off a split on the road in the last two ball games. They come in 1-5 in the Capital Conference and 3-9 on the season.
Yeah, Mary Washington, there's a three-way tie in the Capital Conference now. It's them, Marymount, and Christopher Newport tied for second place.
Right behind Salisbury.
Right behind Salisbury. And it was a close game between Mary Washington and Salisbury at their place. So, we're looking at a really good team. But the Knights did play really well this past weekend, playing at Penn State Harrisburg, winning that one, and then having a rough loss at St. Mary's.
Yeah, talk about those two ball games, what the Knights did very good in those two games, not so good, and what they have to really work on here tonight.
Well, they limited their turnovers. That was one thing. And against Penn State Harrisburg, they shot the ball really well. Their offense efficiency was really good. So anytime you can limit turnovers and shoot the ball really well, you're going to have great games. Against St. Mary's, their press really didn't work that much. They stayed with it probably a little bit too long, created their own turnovers also, and offensive efficiency was down around 30%. So not a good night for them.
But how much did it help to get that first Capital Conference victory of the year?
It's always great to get that win.
Especially now if they, this is going to be a tough task tonight, so obviously they're hoping to play well and, if nothing else, stay with Mary Washington because their next two ball games on the road at York on Saturday and then back here a week from today hosting Frostburg. Those are two very winnable games against teams that are currently in the basement of the Capital Conference.
Yeah, they're 0-6 now, and they're not playing well, but they're rebuilding.
Right. Yep.
York, after losing four of their top five players, and those young ladies played from freshman year all the way through senior year, so there wasn't a lot of building in behind them. They're rebuilding, so it's a great opportunity for them to pick up two more wins after tonight. Now, if they play well and you're in your home gym, a few three-point shots fall, you hang on to the ball and cause a few turnovers. Great things could happen tonight, but again, looking down the road, a great chance for them to get to 3 wins in the Capital Conference, put themselves a little bit closer to that 6th spot.
The last time the Knights played at home was on January the 3rd against Salisbury, a heck of a ball club. My question is, right at this stage, Salisbury, are they going to lose in the Capital Conference, you think?
Well, it's going to be really tough because now they got all their hard games going back to Salisbury. They played at Christopher Newport and beat Christopher Newport pretty handily there. Played at Mary Washington and beat Mary Washington there. Played at Marymount and beat Marymount.
I think the game on Saturday, I was checking out the box, and Hackett, who just is a tremendous player, had about 28, I think.
Yeah, she kind of rises to the occasion. And we talked about how good she was here, and you asked, do you really think that she could be nominated for All-American? And if she keeps on playing that way against these top teams that are right on the cusp of being ranked, yeah, she does have that chance.
Now, how about the keys tonight for the Knights? And do you expect them to press? And if they do, what's the problem there? Because we've seen it earlier in the season where they press, they don't get a turnover, and then end up giving up an easy layup on the other end.
Well, on their press, if they do, it's going to have to be a lot of defensive rotations getting back to have a basket protector. I really hope and expect for them to play their zone defense, force Mary Washington to shoot from the outside, but they're really going to have to control the backboards. Mary Washington likes to go offensive rebound, and they have the one of the young ladies, who is it, Comden.
Right.
She was the player of the week last week. So they're going to have to do a great job of controlling her.
How about offensively for the Knights? Reduce the turnovers and try to find some consistency. They're looking for consistency from Belliston, from Cleveland, from Boren. You right on down the line.
Yeah, just reversing the ball will do a lot for that. Instead of trying to make one pass and score right away, make 2 or 3 passes, make the defense move, and you'll find these easy openings, and that's where I think the Knights can really do well against Mary Washington.
Okay, stay with us. The tip-off is just a couple of minutes away. We've got the prayer and the national anthem coming up next, so we'll take a little break and get ready for the start of Mary Washington and Southern Virginia University here in just a few minutes, so stay with us. Quick check of the starting lineups. First of all, for Mary Washington at a guard slot, it'll be a junior, Megan Green, joined by a freshman forward, Taylor Barton. Also, Claire Hoptel, a senior guard, a 5'8", a senior guard will be starting today. Also, a forward, a senior, Aubrey Hallen will be the fourth starter, and the fifth will be Breon Comden, and she is the big center, a 6-foot sophomore center, Mike.
Yeah, they're going to have to watch out for her. She has some very deceptive moves down in the low post, and she really likes to go after those offensive rebounds.
Starting five for Southern Virginia University for the Knights, it'll be Marissa Belliston, the 5'4" freshman at one guard slot. The other guard, the sophomore three-point threat, that'll be Morgan Hartvigsen. And then up front, we've got Ann Kuroki, Crystal Cleveland, and Melinda Boren. And again, as we mentioned just a few minutes ago, Mike, the Knights are looking for some consistency. Sometimes Belliston shows up offensively, sometimes not. Sometimes you see Hartvigsen popping the three. Sometimes Crystal Cleveland goes off inside. Sometimes it's Melinda Boren. And at times, Ann Kuroki shows up offensively. And I know that Coach Heather Roberts wants to see a little more consistency individually and as a team.
It'd be nice for all these young ladies to have their great games at the same time. Against St. Mary's, Ann had a really great game, 16 points, about 7 or 8 rebounds. Melinda had a good weekend, averaging about 10 points and 8 rebounds a game.
Yep.
So now we got to get some of the more three-point shooters to help loosen up that inside.
And, of course, let's not forget about the bench with Tavani Afatazi, Jamila Gambi, just to name a few.
Yeah, they're going to have to play a role, bring in some energy, but also not turning the ball over at the rate that we've seen them do lately.
Hey, you know, again, in game number 2, we'll have the men's contest. That'll be a situation where the Knights and Mary Washington, the two men's teams, have 3 combined victories this season, and that's unlike these two programs.
It is very unlike these two programs. Mary Washington is rebuilding with a brand new coach, and so they're learning each other. Southern Virginia's just been snake bit this year with injuries and being able to use up eligibility and having some people go down, which we'll talk about with Wes Evans. And it's just one of those years that I'm sure that Coach Caputo, a win tonight, would help him sleep a little bit better.
Well, we talked about people stepping up after they lost Preston Eaton, and of course, Kaleo Manuela. Now they have to replace Wes Evans, and it looked like David Beatty had a pretty good offensive game over the weekend.
Yeah, they're going to have to look for consistency from him, and also Walker. He's going to have to help out at that point.
Mary Washington wins the opening tip, misses a 3. Crystal Cleveland clears the boards, and here come the Knights with their first offensive possession tonight.
Looks like Mary Washington's opening up in a little bit of a zone or a sagging man-to-man.
Boren will pop and hit.
And there we saw the ball go from one side of the floor to the other and then have a wide-open shot on the inside. If the Knights can just replicate that throughout the night, we'll have a good night.
Well, you know, at times this season, Mike, the Knights have gotten off to a pretty good start. Namely, you know, against Salisbury, they had a nice early run against Salisbury. It's just a matter of trying to, you know, keep up that play really throughout the entire ball game.
Yeah, there's an old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And sometimes young players forget about that and try to do a little bit too much.
Yeah, we were talking about that Mary Washington, or the Salisbury game, where the Knights had a couple of runs early to take a 7-point lead, and then later on in the second half to climb back into the ball game, and then that's when Salisbury would just go on those monster runs.
Yeah, and that's a veteran team for you. They didn't panic at all.
There's a turnover by Melinda Boren, throwing it, trying to hit Hartvigsen, but losing the ball. Now Megan Green with it. And a jump shot by Barton is good for Mary Washington.
And they're again trying to force a little bit too much action instead of working the ball from side to side and letting the action happen.
Belliston almost lost it. Crystal Cleveland somehow winds up with it. She can't get the shot to go. There's no foul call. And now I think Crystal, frustration maybe is setting in there as she bumped the Mary Washington player near the baseline and picks up the foul instead.
Yeah, I think that's one of those that you have to let go. The ball was not in anybody's possession. They were both going for it, and they just kind of bumped bodies.
So the first foul of the game goes against the Knights and Crystal Cleveland. All tied up here, just underway. Played about a minute and a half. Here from the Knight Sports Arena. Driving to the basket, and the shot is no good by Comden, the big center, but she is fouled inside, and she'll go to the foul line to shoot 2 shots.
And it's kind of interesting that they got Ann Kuroki playing on Comden there. The best offensive player, I guess Coach Roberts thinks that Ann's their best chance to slow her down.
Kuroki only giving up a couple of inches in that matchup as Compton misses the first foul shot.
And Ann is a strong young lady, but experience from last year. Compton is just she doesn't look that strong, but she is a load down there.
Second shot is good, and it's a 3-2 lead now for Mary Washington. Belliston quickly across the timeline, has her pass kicked out of bounds. 25 on the shot clock for the Knights. Had a little snow today, Mike, but a bit quickly dissipated.
Yeah, that's why I like being in Virginia. It'll snow, but usually by 4 or 5 hours away, it'll all go away, which is great for us with the basketball game tonight.
Well, you've gone through a few snow games. How much the day of a game, I guess, whether you're the home team or the road team, is there a lot of talk back and forth between the schools? Well, if it doesn't clear up, we may not come,
No, there's only if there's like 5 or 6 inches on the ground do you ever start thinking about that. But that's really the athletic directors that take care of that.
Well, I seem to recall a game last year where we were starting to snow, and it wound up being about 10 inches that evening. It was a Wednesday evening, I think.
Yeah, that's one of those games that I'm glad that we were here and didn't have to travel any place.
Knights trail here 5-2. Another turnover.
Yeah,
Like you mentioned, Mike, they've got to reduce turnovers, and so far in the first half they've had a few.
Yeah, Ann got caught down in the dead corner and trying to make a pass out of there. That's almost death.
And a drive to the basket is up and in by Clear Hopple. And now suddenly Mary Washington has ripped off 7 straight points to take a 7-2 lead.
And Mary Washington cleared out that side for Hopple, and there was no backside help.
Belliston trying to get it down low to Boren, throws it away again. It's on the floor, picked up by Mary Washington. It looked like Belliston just kind of got in between a couple of players, got trapped a little bit. Pass is knocked out of bounds, last touch by the Knights.
Yeah, she threw the pass right at Melinda's feet also, and that's one place that post players really don't want the ball is right at their feet.
5-point lead right now for Mary Washington. Played nearly 3 minutes. Compton is open for the inbounds pass. Works around Cleveland, shoots and scores.
Yeah, Howland, nice footwork there.
Yeah, Aubrey Howland, the 5'11 senior, was able to get that basket. And she really did have good footwork going around Crystal Cleveland because Cleveland looked like had decent defense. Cleveland the other way can't make the basket. Hoptel with a rebound.
And Crystal had a great move there, but she rushed her shot and didn't square her shoulders to the basket. If she does that, that's going to be an unstoppable shot for the Knights.
9-0 run right now for the Eagles of Mary Washington. They trailed early 2-0, now lead 9-2.
And this is the diversity that Mary Washington brings. Everybody can handle the ball.
Hoptel with a 3 can't hit. Cleveland rips down the rebound. She's fouled. Going to be on Aubrey Howland, it looks like.
And Crystal's getting a little bit tired because she brought the ball down to her waist. She's got to keep that ball up around her chin, and those young ladies will leave her alone. Got
some substitutions in the game as Hartvigsen will check out, and Boren's going to check out. Afatazi will be into the game for the first time, and Larissa Conger. 9-2 lead right now for Mary Washington.
Mary Washington's playing a little 1-2-2 zone. And if the Knights will reverse the ball a couple times, they'll find someone wide open along the baseline.
Mary Washington came into the game with just 1 loss in the Capital Conference, 9 wins for the season. Pass into Afatazi is knocked out of bounds, last touch by the Eagles.
That's where Ann needs to not look to pass the ball inside, give a little shot fake to get everybody moving, and then maybe the pass will be a little bit more open.
Mary Washington came in with a record of 9-4 on the season. Another turnover for the Knights. How does Mary Washington with 9 wins compare to the team we've been talking about, Salisbury, a team that has yet to lose in the Capital Conference?
They're very close. The major difference is the two guards that we've talked about with Salisbury, Hackett and Sipe. Those two make a huge difference scoring-wise and defensive-wise.
And Listenby off the bench is able to hit from the baseline, and now, Mike, it's an 11-2 ball game.
Yeah, Mary Washington, when they start to smell blood, they're like sharks. When they start to smell blood in the water, they just pour it on and don't try to back off. And they're just a very well-oiled machine, and the coach for Mary Washington drills the young ladies consistently, and they show it out on the floor.
Right now, the Knights' biggest problem, there's a few, obviously the defense, but the number one problem would be the turnovers.
Yeah, live ball turnovers will kill you. I used to tell all my teams that I don't mind turnovers as long as they're dead ball turnovers. That gives us a chance to get back and play defense.
Right.
But live ball turnovers that lead to layups, we just can't have those.
kind of like football a little bit with turnovers and field position, I guess. Don't want to be turning it over in your own end.
Yeah.
Here's Crystal Cleveland with a move and got a foul called inside on Mary Washington, and that's going to be on Listenby.
And smart by Crystal. Anytime you feel two hands on you and you're a post player facing the basket, you make a move toward the basket, it's going to be an automatic foul.
Inbounds pass to Cleveland. Shoots, misses badly. Belliston got the rebound, but she was too far under. And now here comes a fast break by Mary Washington. And the layup is up and in as Kendall Parker scores the freshman. And suddenly it's a 13-2 lead.
And Missy was stepping on the out-of-bounds line as she threw the ball in, so it's another turnover. At least this is a dead ball turnover, but there was no defensive balance. When Missy was underneath the basket, one of the other guards has to get back to pick up that defensive balance in the backcourt.
Things rapidly unraveling here, and another jump shot outside of three is up and in by Kendall Parker, that freshman guard, and now suddenly it's a 16-0 run by the Eagles. These are the kind of runs that just blindside a team, Mike.
Yeah, and
they scored the first basket by Boren. Everything looking pretty good, and the next thing you know, it's a 16-0 run by the opposition.
And you just can't let these runs happen, especially for a young team. They start to panic, and when the panic sets in, then we start to see these live ball turnovers more and more.
Well, we saw that against Salisbury back on January the 3rd, where Salisbury went off on a run, and then you just saw turnover.
Yeah, this is where one of the upperclassmen, either Ann or Crystal's going to have to just settle them down by making a good, strong move to the basket.
Parker with a nice pass to Taylor Barton, 18-2. Now it's Mary Washington by 16. And again, the turnovers are hurting the Knights. Another one by Belliston as she got a little indecisive and ends up walking with the basketball. But Mary Washington on the other end is really playing good basketball and shooting the lights out.
They are in that 1-2-2 zone that they have. Again, if you try to attack it on the first pass, it's going to eat you alive and cause a lot of turnovers. If you get the ball, better offensive spacing and move the ball from one side of the floor to the other, I'm telling you, the baseline is wide open.
18 straight points by Mary Washington, and now Drumheller for Mary Washington, a little indecisive with a pass, and she walks with the basketball for a turnover for Mary Washington.
Yeah, nice backdoor cut, but it wasn't communicated well that she was going to make that backdoor cut.
Knights walk it up the court. Jamila Gambi out there along with Afatazi. Also Crystal Cleveland, Conger, and Valerie Arkansas. And right now, Mike, what the Knights need is just a couple of baskets, try to go a little mini run of their own just to kind of stabilize things.
Yeah, even right now, just to trade baskets for a few minutes would do great for their psyche.
Big freshman to the game, too, for Mary Washington. That's Kiara Smith. She is 6'4". Very thin, but got the height.
Got the height. That's one thing that you can't teach is height. So anytime that they can get her into the game, that's great experience for her.
Jump shot no good. Rebound Knights. Gambi with the defensive rebound. Arkansas's got it. Goes to Conger. Conger obviously capable of some offense too. Afatazi down low. And scoop shot no good. Conger with the rebound. Stick back is no foul called. Rebound, Mary Washington. Here comes another fast break by the Eagles. They've got the numbers and a layup.
And that's all, again, just defensive balance, making sure that you get your two guards, the point guard and your shooting guard, back.
That was a 3-on-1 break for the Eagles. Boren's going to pop from outside and miss. Rebound comes to Kendall Parker. Here comes the freshman. Up court against Conger. Mary Washington lobbing down low to the 6'4" player inside, but the Listenby gets the loose ball. Jump shot is no good. Boren tries to get the rebound and does.
And you see how Mary Washington retreats. As soon as the ball's handled by the Knights, they all get back to get to that great defensive position.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. The Knights haven't had a whole lot of fast breaks this season.
No, not at all.
And you got to credit this to obviously the opposition's defense on that. We got another missed shot and another foul. Now Afatazi going to pick this one up.
A little bit of a excitement to get back into the game.
So we've got some substitutions into the game. In fact, the Knights will make wholesale changes. Get some fresh players back into the game, including Crystal Cleveland, Ann Kuroki, Morgan Hartvigsen, Marissa Belliston. They'll join Afatazi out there.
Yeah.
Knights have, after the opening basket, in the opening minute of the game or so, with 12:53 to go here, Mike, they've been outscored 20-0.
Yeah, and not really good shots in that they were taking either.
Comden drops it down low, gets it back. Against Kuroki, good defense, forced her out of bounds, turnover for the Eagles.
And that might be the start of something that the Knights get, some consistency, some confidence that they can get going here.
Knights have just one basket in nearly 8 minutes to start the ball game, and that was by Melinda Boren. Hartvigsen open for a three, took a foul, no foul call. Missed on the three-pointer. She was bumped into Mike hard, it looked like, after the shot. No foul call, though.
Yeah, she may have even came down on someone's foot, caused her to turn that ankle over a little bit.
Shot is blocked out of bounds by Afatazi. Nice block. Still Mary Washington's basketball. Megan Green checking into the game, replacing Drumheller. And they get the ball in finally. Green's got it. She goes down the lane, drops it off to Listenby. Nice shot along the baseline, but too far under, missed. Compton with the rebound. She's fouled.
Can you see how Comden gets the ball? Once she gets the ball above her head, it stays above her head, and she moves her arms into the defense, which causes the foul.
So the Knights pick up another foul. And Comden will shoot two. First one up and good.
Yeah,
Crystal Cleveland has her second.
Crystal's going to have to show a little bit of upperclassman leadership now. She knows she has two. She's going to have to play a little bit smarter out there, maybe give up a little bit of position and a little bit of aggressiveness that would cause her to get that third foul.
Comden hits both foul shots. 22 straight points now by Mary Washington. 20-point lead also for the Eagles. Where will the Knights get their offense? Lob down low to Crystal Cleveland. Too far under, foul from behind. Crystal will go to the foul line. You know, she's not made a whole lot of trips to the foul line this season, at least at home.
No, and it looks like, when they're trying to force the ball into her, not let her get enough touches, and we get those live ball turnovers. But it also, the defense is playing away from her, and she's trying to avoid contact instead of going into the contact.
Crystal hits the first foul shot. Looked pretty good on that one. Stops that 22 straight point run by Mary Washington. Second shot, that one's short. Rebound tied up. Belliston had it momentarily tied up. Now they wave jump ball possession arrow, and it goes to the Knights. Good effort by Marissa Belliston. Knights looking for that little run here. Maybe a basket. Even a three would help. And Hartvigsen just gets it in to beat the 5-second call.
That was close.
Very close.
And here's the problem. When Missy picks her dribble up and with no place to go.
Cleveland tries to bank it in, can't get the roll off the glass, and the rebound comes off to Compton, and she shoots a fast break pass ahead, and it's an easy layup up and in for Taylor Barton. Good look by Compton, and again, someone getting free behind the SVU defense.
Yeah, there's no defensive balance whatsoever on some of these runouts that Mary Washington's getting, and they're reverting back to what we saw earlier in the season.
The Averett game comes to mind, I suppose, at the very, very beginning of the season.
Yeah, that or Wesley. We saw Wesley with uncounted layup after layup after layup. And if they're going to press or try to jam the outlet, someone is going to have to be the rim protector. I don't know how there's no other way to say it. Someone's going to get back to protect the rim.
So is this a kind of a miscommunication among the players as to who's going to be the person or persons getting back on defense?
I don't think so. I've tried to watch them practice without them knowing that I'm watching them practice and all. And it seems that the overall theory and philosophy behind it is we're going to jam the outlet pass, we're going to cover the next two passes, and we're going to let them just go long. And if they can beat us long, they're going to beat us long.
Okay.
And, you know, when you get to a college level, those girls can beat you long all the time.
And we've seen that this season.
We have.
More or less, we've seen more the long passes, but here tonight we're seeing some good outlet passes too.
Yeah, there's some, and again, Mary Washington's very good with moving the ball from A to B to C. You know, in high school, if you'd run something like this, you maybe have 1 or 2 players.
No.
Right now, you got 5 players out there that can all handle the ball, especially with Mary Washington, Salisbury, and Marymount, and Christopher Newport. They can all handle the ball.
And we played about 8.5 minutes, Mike, and the Knights only have 1 basket. That was by Melinda Bourne in the opening minute.
And that's that offensive consistency we talked about is just not there.
Hartvigsen had a good look at a 3, but couldn't hit it from the corner, and another fast break. Comes to Howland. She lays it up and in. And now Mary Washington is looking for that fast break.
Yeah,
Not when it's available, but they're looking for it.
Yeah, they're sending the flyer, the top player, Howland. They're just sending her. As soon as the ball is secured, they're gone.
Belliston couldn't hit from the outside, just left her shot short on the 3-point attempt. Back comes Mary Washington, open for a 3. Jump shot, it rims out. Good miss there because Mary Washington was in position to take a 26-point lead if that shot by Barton goes down. Now we'll see if the Knights can respond. And they've had good looks at 3s, Mike, the last couple of trips with Hartvigsen and Belliston. There's another 3. This one's too strong. Knights keep looking for that 3-point shot. There's another breakout layup up and in by Claire Hoptel. And that one was several seconds after the rebound.
Yeah, and that was just the Knights defense relaxing and letting people get behind them.
And Afatazi squares up and hits off the glass. Just the second basket here in the first half by the Knights, who climbed back within 23 now at 28-5.
You know, and the Knights look a little tired out there on the floor as Mary Washington looks very fresh.
Good defense by Crystal Cleveland to stop Comden's shot. Knights looking for an opening. Just trying to fight back from this huge deficit in the first half. Afatazi looked like she got pushed. There was no call. Hartvigsen into Cleveland. Crystal puts it on the floor. The triple team and loses the basketball. She was hoping for a call there. Mike didn't get it.
Yeah, anytime you go up against 3, it's not a good night. Good steal, though, by Avatasi.
And she gets it over to Missy Belliston. Now Kuroki with a good baseline move, but ran out of real estate. Over to Belliston in the corner. Skip pass. And will fire. Miss. Trying to get her own rebound. Bumped by Comden. Foul on Comden.
And nice effort by Ann there, going after her own shot. Saw that it was coming off long, went off and tried to get it back. Nice effort.
4 new bodies into the game for the Knights. It'll be Arkansas, Conger, Gamby, and also Boren rejoining Crystal Cleveland, who has 2 fouls. 28-5, Mary Washington on top.
You know, and the Knights got to take they got to take these opportunities that they've been given to get something on the board.
Well, we said it against Salisbury, kind of like these 4-minute stretches, Mike. You just got to work your way back gradually. You can't hope you get it all at once.
Yeah, it's 1 point at a time, and if you can get to the free throw line even, anything would be good.
Boren driving down the lane. Foul called inside against Mary Washington. This one goes against Taylor Barton.
You know, and that's a nice sign. The Knights are starting to get a little bit more aggressive, going towards the rim, causing some fouls. Get to the free throw line, and maybe your offensive continuity will start to get a little bit better because you can get the ball actually into the basket.
Ball got tipped out of bounds, so it's still Knights basketball with 8:55 to go till halftime. Men's contest coming up after this one. Knights men's team has won twice. Mary Washington just 1 win so far this season. Nice rebound by Melinda Boren. Outside to Arkansas. Knights still looking for that 3-point shot outside. Cleveland gets a little opening. Shoots too hard. Had Listenby right on her back, who walks with the basketball. Oh, looked very close to a walk. There was no traveling call. Guess she was able to hang on to that pivot foot.
Well, that toenail must have been sticking into the floor.
And a nice block by Boren, but a foul called inside against the Knights. And Conger will pick that one up. Well, Crystal Cleveland had a good look at a shot after a nice move, Mike, but just a little too hard. She's having a hard time getting her timing down. She's having a hard time inside with all those bodies, defensive bodies for Mary Washington.
And again, a lot of frustration that you can see on all the Knights' faces right now, and they're taking it out on the offensive end, trying to do a little bit too much. And when they do have those openings, again, that frustration is causing things to go a little bit hard.
And as we've seen, Mary Washington, I don't know how this compares to Salisbury. They might be deeper than Salisbury as far as their bench is concerned. It's close.
They could be, but, you know, you got to, again, look at Hackett and Sipe.
Yep. Little clock problem, so the Knights will take it out of bounds here from the side. 8:25 to go, and Mary Washington leads it here 30-5.
And it's one of those issues where now let's just try to get, you know, 5 more points in the next 3 minutes.
Arkansas getting a lot of playing time tonight. Now Gamby, good athlete, yet to provide a whole lot of offense this season. Trying to get down low to Cleveland, who's just swarmed by defenders. Over to Gamby. Left her shot short. Almost a shot clock violation. And the Knights get the steal momentarily. Then Mary Washington loses the ball out of bounds. And when you see Crystal Cleveland getting swarmed like that, 2-3 defenders on her, it's all because the Knights just have not been able to provide that three-point threat.
Yeah.
You got a collapsing defense. Crystal Cleveland has been very frustrating for her tonight.
Yeah, and 1 or 2 shots fall from the outside. That cleans up a lot of stuff on the inside so Crystal can actually get some breathing room.
And the Knights have had some good looks. Arkansas, Hartvigsen, Belliston from outside. They just have not been able to hit the three. And there's a steal on the inbounds pass by Kayla Parks, freshman guard who's just into the game. Listenby down low. Off the glass, too strong. Got her own rebound on the baseline as Crystal couldn't handle the loose ball. Drumheller goes over to the left. And Gamby trying to get the steal, gets the foul instead.
You know, and that's just been the downfall of Jamila this whole season is she gets that over exuberance and thinks she can just get that ball, but her pass takes her right through the player.
16 fouls now on the night, so it'll be Mary Washington from here on out shooting from the foul line with a 1-on-1 on the next foul.
And so far tonight, they've been really good foul shooters, Jim, so that's not good for the Knights.
This is going to be a tough halftime locker room, Mike, for Coach Heather Roberts if the Knights don't start to get a few more baskets. Right now they've got 5 points, and we played almost 13 minutes.
Yeah, you'd always hope that you get 1 point per possession, and this is not even close to that.
Listenby's got it. She'll fire the jump shot and hit. Now Mary Washington leads 32-5, and they are on a 32-3 run. Afatazi wants it down low. Pass is knocked away on the floor, picked up by Boren. Plenty of time on the shot clock, 15. Kuroki outside of Arkansas. Pass is knocked out of bounds. Now we're down to 5 on the shot clock.
You know, and you had 3 players all within about 5 feet of each other, and it just that spacing just not conducive to offensive efficiency.
Cleveland and Hartvigsen check back in, joining Kuroki, Boren, and Arkansas. Yeah, Valerie Arkansas getting a lot of playing time in this first half.
Yeah, I don't know if Missy's not feeling well or they're trying to give Valerie some more playing time. Again, preparing for those next 2 games coming up.
Another fast break by Mary Washington. And there's the big Kiara Parker inside, or Kiara Smith that is, and she hits to make it Mary Washington now on top big time by a 34-5 score. And Cleveland inside there's going to be a foul called on Mary Washington. That'll be their 16th foul. So Com didn't pick that one up. Belliston finally going to check back into the game for Arkansas.
You know, and now we'll see if if Missy's been able to calm down a little bit. She made a couple turnovers there at the very beginning. You can see her starting to get frustrated.
Yeah, her problem tonight, Mike, as you mentioned, is she's been caught in between at times, a little indecisiveness.
Yeah, and that indecisiveness is caused by the spacing of the offense.
And a travel call on Ann Kuroki. Took a quick start to the basket and apparently didn't dribble for the first second or two.
You know, and we've been saying turnover. They've got to be around 12, 15 turnovers now for the first half.
And I don't know, is turnovers kind of like a disease? I mean, because it looks like they're spreading them around.
They're contagious. They are very contagious. It's just like shooting. If you get a hot shooter, then you get very contagious to the rest of the team.
Belliston's pass picked off. Another turnover. Steal by Mary Washington. Another fast break, and they score on a nice layup up and in by Sonara. And now it's 36-5, Mary Washington. Crystal Cleveland trying to find an opening inside against 6'4" Kiera Smith. Another turnover. Mary Washington, fast break. This one's a 1-on-4 break, and it looks like Sonara is going to hold that one up.
Yeah, it was one of the few times that the Knights got back and had more people down there than Mary Washington did.
She's open for a three, Sonara is, but misses. But there's Smith with a rebound, the 6'4" Smith. They go over to Hopdell, and she hits a three-pointer from outside. And now it's 39-5, Mary Washington.
You know, this is one of those games that you might want to throw the tape away at the end of the night. It happened. Just move on.
Just kind of spiraling out of control as Crystal Cleveland driving to the basket is able to pick up a blocking call as she almost got the shot to go. She's fouled by Hopdell, and Crystal will go to the foul line to shoot two. Yeah, if you're Heather Roberts, and if this score doesn't change and you're down by 30, 35, 40 points, what do you tell the kids at halftime?
Again, you have to sit there and say, okay, we may not win this game, but we got to get ready for our next two games because those are games that we should be able to win. And you start working on those things, and you don't worry about the score. You work on the execution of what you're trying to accomplish.
So my question is how do you work on these turnovers now? And you've had to deal with that in the past.
The spacing, we had to really space our people out. And when we have a timeout and we can get the camera back on us, we'll look at a little bit of where some of the problems are on our little whiteboard that we have. But Crystal hit 2 free throws there. It puts that drive, put the Knights into the 1-and-1. So now if they can continue to attack the basket, they can get those free, easy points.
And it looks like Belliston is going to pick up the foul. Look almost like kind of like a high dribble there too, but Belliston instead picks up the foul, and that's going to send Mary Washington to the foul line for a 1-on-1 with 4:46 to go. He'll add a few more seconds on the clock and make it 4:49 left until halftime. So Belliston picks up her first foul. And Drumheller to the foul line. And she buries the foul shot to make it 40-7. Second game, Mike, could be pretty interesting tonight. Again, Mary Washington's men's team, most unlike the Eagles, they've only won one time this season. The Knights have won twice. But, of course, since the beginning of the season, the Knights are without now Wes Evans, Preston Eaton, Kaleo Manuela, and they're really relying on a couple of people, as you mentioned, like Kevin Walker, maybe David Beatty.
Yeah, and Michael Nuffield. So it's gonna be an interesting game tonight. The coaches of those two games, this is where they earn their money.
Steal by the Knights. Down by 33, passing to DeBoren. Now, for whatever reason, Melinda had it right where she wanted to. Maybe she had the 6'4" player on her back, but she tried to get it over to Crystal Cleveland at the foul line. And they call jump ball possession arrow, which favors Mary Washington.
And that was the one time that the Knights were spaced out enough to actually get the ball into the post with an easy pass.
Of course, now if you're Melinda Boren, you got that 6'4" defender behind you.
Yeah, but Melinda has a great little fadeaway jump shot, and also can go to the other side for the layup. Probably has a little bit more quickness than Smith has.
Here's a jump shot outside by Mary Washington, no good. Rebound and Kuroki. Knights in the last couple of minutes have kind of stabilized things. Belliston tries to go into the defender with a jump shot, misses the shot, rolls out of bounds. And it's going to be Knights basketball. Looks like Marissa kind of forced that shot a little bit.
Yeah, and again, young players, they sometimes do things that you would just wonder why as a coach, and sometimes why as a fan too. And again, she's not having one of her greatest games. You can see that she's trying to make up for it by being very aggressive offensively.
Yeah, sometimes you can try a little too hard, maybe too hard to create. Here's Hartvigsen open for a three. Hit, and she hits the jumper and is hit. They got a chance at a 4-point play.
Now, if we can get a 4-point play every time we come down,
there you go.
We can get right back into the game.
As long as you don't allow any points on the other end.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We haven't done that yet, so we're looking for some good things.
Well, the foul was on Taylor Barton. Hartvigsen gets credit for the three, and now a chance at a 4-point play if she can hit the foul shot. Try to get the lead under 30, and she does. So with one basket, I think Morgan Hartvigsen might be the points leader
She's the leading
for the
scorer
Knights
now.
with 4 now. And on the baseline, it looked like the Mary Washington player, Caitlin Sonaro, stepped out of bounds, so a turnover now for the Eagles. Well, the Knights would love to go on a little, 8-9-0 run here, try to get this thing down to around 20 by halftime.
Well, if they could get it to within 20 by halftime, they've done an amazing job because of their lack of efficiency on the offensive end and the live ball turnovers that they've had.
See what they can do on this trip down by 29 points right now. Crystal Cleveland way outside. Down low to Boren. Turnaround jump shot is good.
Again, a little bit of patience on there. The shot clock was down around 15, 12 seconds. That's the offensive patience that the Knights need.
Barton got the rebound, though, on the missed three-point shot, and she is fouled. Right place, right time to get that long rebound for Taylor Barton. Boren picked up the foul. And the first foul shot is up and good. Barton's second one, no good. Rebound, Melinda Boren. Knights trail by 28. Arkansas all the way. Found a little opening, but then ran into Listenby and out of bounds. And they're going to say it's last touch by the Knights.
Yeah, Valerie got caught down in the land of giants and not really having anywhere to go.
She's just 5'5", and she ran into Listenby, who's 5'11". Mary Washington's kind of slowed up a little offensively here, Mike, since blowing up to that big lead. And obviously they've still got the big lead, but they've got another turnover. So Mary Washington a little sluggish on offense the last 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, sometimes when you get a big lead, your offensive efficiency goes down. Plus, we haven't seen Comden in for a while either.
Kuroki trying to hit the layup, couldn't hit. And now we've got a 3-on-1 break the other way for Mary Washington. They run the break to perfection, but a great block from behind by the Knights. They're going to pick up the foul, but they certainly stopped that layup.
Yeah, Ann came from behind and spiked the ball down. Got her with her body. But if you're going to foul, Jim, you don't let them get the points. And Ann, being a senior, understands that.
And that's her second foul. Aubrey Hallen at the foul line hits the first one as Belliston and Gambi will check back in, replacing Arkansas and Kuroki with 2:23 to go.
Well, at halftime of this game, Jim, we're going to try to have Coach Caputo over here and talking with you, and he'll be able to sing some of the blues with all his players that he's missing for this year. But again, this will be a great game for them to win, get their win in the Capital Athletic Conference.
And also recap last week's busy week. They've played 3 games on the road since they were last at home on January the 3rd. One of those, nice road win at Bridgewater, and then 2 road losses in the Capital Conference. But they had their chances in those 2 games.
Yeah, they play them really close.
Close to Penn State Harrisburg. Shot clock's down to 3, and Belliston, she might have got away with a double dribble, puts the ball in with like a second to go on the shot clock. I thought she dribbled once, stopped and then dribbled again, but she was in the crowd. Maybe the referee
Maybe they
couldn't
see it, or she got the ball slapped away from her.
42-15 leads 27 right now for Mary Washington.
You know, and anything they can do to get down from that high of being behind by 30 points is just another little notch that they can put into their belt and memories of how to come back from being down, but also how not to let this happen again.
Aubrey Hallen at the foul line hits the first one, as Afatazi will check into the game and replace Crystal Cleveland.
Crystal's done a real good job playing all that time with those 2 fouls, and she has been playing very aggressive, grabbing some rebounds, going towards the basket, putting her free throws in. So it's really good to see her to be able to play with those 2 fouls and not have to sit on the bench.
This might be maybe the number one game of the season as far as frustration for her, at least on the offensive end, as Belliston pops and misses.
Yeah, she's had some chances that she normally knocks down, but because of that frustration of being continuously triple teamed, she's just come up a little bit hard against the backboard.
Mary Washington could hit on their fast break attempt on the other end. So here come the Knights down by 28, looking for an opening. Afatazi down low. Almost lost it out of bounds. She did lose it out of bounds.
Oh, and it's going to stay.
They're going to say last touch by Listenby. I'm not sure. It almost looked like Afatazi got that last, but Knights fans will take it.
Yeah, we'll take anything we can get right now.
43-15, inbounds pass to Boren. She'll fire from near the foul line and hit. So the Knights have got it down to 26 now. And again, there's only 55 seconds left till halftime.
Yeah, but at one point, Jim, we thought this might be a 40-point game at halftime. So,
yeah, I'm trying to remember how high it got, 35, 33, thereabouts. I think it was either 38-5 or 40-5. Shot clock's down to 5. Jump shot outside by Mary Washington. And the Knights have the rebound, and now they've got basically the shot clock to work with the game clock here in the first half down to 25 seconds.
Yeah, you don't want to go down any further than you are right now.
Boren to Gamby. She'll fire. Too strong off the glass. And now with 13, Mary Washington can play for the last shot of the half. Just 3 seconds to go. Mary Washington does not get the shot off. Megan Green, well, I'm not sure what she was thinking about with a second or two to go.
No, and again, sometimes you lose track of what's going on because you're so in the moment of trying to get it to the person that is supposed to take those big shots.
So it winds up being, Mike, a 26-point lead for Mary Washington here at halftime, 43-17.
Well, and at one point we thought it could be a whole lot worse. Good job of the Knights being able to go from that 7 points to 17 in the last 5 or 6 minutes. And the way they did it was being a little bit more patient on the offensive end and also getting to the free throw line.
Hey, you want to make mention of what you were talking about? Use that board for a change?
Yeah, well, we'll try. We're having some problems right now because everybody is inside the three-point line. And so the defense only has to play 1, 2 people right there.
Okay.
So to create some of those dead ball turnovers or not let the live ball turnovers happen, we need to have people spaced out 15 to 18 feet apart outside the three-point line. That would let Crystal down here be all alone and not let the 3 people be guarding her. And also that would create better passing angles.
So that's the offensive end. Defensively, how are they giving up all these fast breaks, too?
Oh, defensively, it's almost a nightmare.
Okay.
So the shot's going up down here. They're sending 5 players to the backboard. The Knights are. The defense, or the Mary Washington, is just sending a player out. So when they grab a rebound, they're outletting the ball here, and then they're hitting down, touchdown, layup.
Of course, now we've seen, actually a couple seconds after a rebound, those fast break passes, too.
Yeah, that was some issues of the Knights just not really paying attention to people getting in behind them. So the Knights are going to have to learn how to sprint back on defense and play from the lane out instead of trying to stay and play from half court down.
Halftime score is 43-17. The Knights trail the Mary Washington Eagles here at halftime, and we hope to have the halftime numbers for you here in just a few seconds. So stay with us, for we'll have more halftime activities coming up from the Knight Sports Arena right after this. Welcome back to the Knight Sports Arena. Halftime score, Southern Virginia 43, or actually Mary Washington 43 and Southern Virginia University 17. A 26-point lead right now for the Mary Washington Eagles. And we are in game number 1 of a doubleheader. We've got the second game coming up, the men's game between Mary Washington and Southern Virginia University. Joining us now, Tony Caputo, the head coach for the Knights. And Tony, it's been a rough ride for you guys. Just a couple of wins so far this season. A lot of close calls like the last week or so, and trying to deal with personnel losses.
Yeah. Yep, we're, of course, down 3 of our starters, our 2 seniors and our center. So it's dealing with that. But, you know, we have what we have, and we're working hard. And, you know, we just get a few breaks come our way, we'll get over the top. Preston
Eaton, I guess that was something that you expected. You were hoping, obviously, to keep him for January, February. It just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with the decision that the NCAA made. I just don't understand it. But, yeah, that's can't do anything about it.
Was there talk about Preston sitting out November, December and playing in January, February? Or?
Yeah, but, you know, I think we all really felt pretty confident since, you know, this year we can't go to the NCAA tournament.
Right,
and there's no way that he could have played at Utah State when he was going to taking those online classes 300 miles away from there, but it is what it is.
And then, you know, Kaleo Manuela, it looked like he was having some good play in November and December. Then you lose him, and then, of course, Wes Evans, here the latest one.
Yeah, you know, takes a lot of size off our team, takes a lot of experience off of our team. You know, that's my 1 4-year player and a senior and a junior. So, you know, we're a lot younger now, which, you know, will bode well for next year as we're getting some experience. But for right now, we're having to learn fast.
And it looked like in your most recent game, you really, David Beatty really stepped it up a little bit. David Beatty, Kevin Walker, these are the guys, just to name a few, that you're going to be relying on in the final couple months of the season.
Right, and, you know, they're guys that are still learning the system, but yeah, they're coming along. We're coming along slowly here. So
who else besides Beatty and Walker? Michael Newfield had a big game a couple of weeks ago. Who else are you relying on in January, February here?
Well, you know, one guy that gives us a consistent effort is Kyle Dragnich, who's another player that's got some experience. So, you know, that's really helpful. But, yeah, we're looking to, you know, see who can catch fire. Maybe one of these freshmen will grow up really quick because we're starting to get a lot of them out on the court.
Take us through the last 3 ball games, road games. You were able to win at Bridgewater, and you had close calls in those 2 losses in the Capital Conference.
Yeah, the game at Penn State Harrisburg was very frustrating. 4-point lead with about a minute and a half left, and they just hit 2 huge threes. You know, we're out there on them, but they're well behind the line, and just, you know, give them credit. They went 4 for 4 at the free throw line and hit 2 big threes and turned that right around. And so that was a tough one. St. Mary's probably the best team in the conference. You know, we go and play very well there, but you know, it's you know, and it hurt at the end of the game. David Beatty went down with an injury and wasn't able to finish out the game, but as he was having a really good game. But, you know, that's just the things that we're dealing with.
I know you'll say a loss is a loss is a loss, but I mean, your record's a little deceiving because you've had some very close calls here at home. When you look at, you know, that December loss in the Capital Conference, and then as you mentioned, the most recent games on the road in the Capital Conference, and then earlier games in the Capital Conference where you had leads in the second half. So you only got 2 wins, but you could easily have 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah, I mean, Marymount game, Wesley game, CNU game, we're ahead right into the last couple of minutes. So, yeah, I wish we just had some of those. Now, Mary Washington's a lot the same.
Yeah.
They have a new coach who is the winningest coach in NCAA Division III over the last 5 years. He just transferred here from Cabrini in Philadelphia. So, they're a very good team, but like us, they have a lot of new players that are learning a system, and they've lost a lot of really close games, and they're just kind of trying to put it together. I think they lost a double overtime game by 1 the other day. So, two teams going through a lot of the same growing pains, I think.
Have you given any thought to next year recruiting? For the folks out there taking a look at the game tonight, the high school kids, maybe you were thinking about coming here. What would you say to them?
Oh, I mean, we have actually a player from California and a player from Idaho that have committed to come here so far, and I'm real happy with them. I got to coach both of them at camps this summer. One at the BYU camp, and then one here at our camp. So they're real nice players, but we're gonna need more. We're trying to recruit some JUCO kids, and but we need some more players. We're out there trying real hard.
Tony, last question: what can we look for in game number 2 tonight? Your game against Mary Washington.
Well, I think some of the styles might look pretty similar in that I think you might see quite a bit of zone, which we've not played in the past, but because of personnel situations and things, we're starting to play a little bit more of that. And, we've been better defensively because of it, I think. And so I think you'll see a lot of that. I think, it'll just come down to whoever gets hot and whoever takes care of the ball.
Okay, well, good luck tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Tony
Thanks
Caputo right there. Halftime score. It is Mary Washington leading Southern Virginia here in the women's contest, 43-17. Back for more of halftime activities right after this.
Okay.
Halftime score 43-17 right now. Mary Washington leads Southern Virginia. Mike, we've got the first half numbers. 13 first half turnovers there for the Knights, who shot 6 of 31 from the floor, just 19%.
Yeah, that's not going to get you a lot of wins any place. And they were 1 of 7 from the three-point line for 14%. Those are numbers that you can't have when you're playing a team that's 5-1 in your conference.
They shot well from the foul line, 4 out of 5. The only problem was Mary Washington shot nearly 3 times as many free throws.
Yeah, it's great to have that 80% number, but you have to get there multiple times in order for that to extrapolate out through the rest of the game.
And then the Knights were out-rebounded 26-17. Individually, very tough first half for Crystal Cleveland. She was 0 for 6 from the floor, had just 3 total points. Missy Belliston, 1 of 7, as she only had 2 points. She also had 3 turnovers.
Yeah, the Knights are going to have to put that first half behind them. It's over with. It's happened. Now, they have to play this half to get ready for next Saturday and Wednesday coming up.
I'm trying to remember the highest lead that Mary Washington had. I thought it was in and around 40-5, and if that's the case, then the Knights were able to outscore them down the stretch, like 12-3. So it's good to see the Knights haven't given up, and they're just trying to fight their way back a little bit.
Yeah, and again, play these next 4 minutes. Reevaluate what's going on. Work on one thing at a time instead of trying to work on everything. Say, this 4 minutes, we're going to work on this, and see if you can make sure that it works well.
Hey, at least you got to use your board tonight. And it worked pretty well.
I'm not good at doing it upside down anymore.
Just need some flashier colors than black.
Flashier colors.
Yeah. Maybe green.
Green would be good.
Green and white.
There we go.
Knights start the second half with the basketball, trailing here by 26. Hartwig's open for a 3. Hits! That's her second 3 of the ball game, and now she is the leading scorer for the Knights with 7. Then suddenly the lead is down to 23 now.
And that was a good offensive set for the Knights. They were able to go from one side of the floor to the other. The baseline runner was Ann Kuroki. Penetrated and found the wide open Morgan Hartfordson for the 3. Need to see more and more of that.
That was a good look, too, by Hartwigson. And, of course, at times, she's seemingly a little shy about popping that 3, and she didn't hesitate on that one.
Yeah, well, when you're down by 25 points, 26 points, you can't be shy at all.
Good defense by Kuroki to pick the pocket of Comden. And then Kuroki loses it right back. And now we got another fast break run out for Howland, who spins, gives it to Comden, but
you want to call a foul on Melinda.
Yeah. Might have saved an easy layup.
Yeah, but
on one end, Kuroki had a nice steal, Mike. Then on the other hand, she gave it right back. .3-point lead right now. Open for a 3 is Howland. Left it short. Rebound comes off to Kuroki. Belliston looking for an opening. Hasn't had too many of those tonight. Cleveland on the baseline, looking for her first basket. And she's fouled. Hard to believe, Mike, that Crystal's still looking for her first field goal of the game.
Yeah, but that'll happen sooner or later, but the good news is she's getting to the free throw line and building up that confidence there.
And she hits the first one. Crystal 4 of 5 from the line tonight. And that one a little short. Lead is 22 right now for Mary Washington. Let's look a little more spread out defensively here, Mike. Boren trying to get the steal. Pass is knocked away, picked up by Belliston. Recognize that she didn't have the numbers.
That was smart. Look to reverse the ball.
Nice pass inside to Boren. Boren to Cleveland. Cleveland spins, shoots, scores. Good to see Crystal get her first basket tonight.
Again, nice move, able to keep everything spread out. Allows Crystal to get her space to make her move.
Long 3 by Hopto is good. Hard to make a comeback when the opposition up by 20 buries a 3 like that. Cleveland the other way, shoots and misses, but got her own rebound, puts it up and in, and she's fouled.
A little bit of excitement there on Crystal's face after putting that one in.
Well, she's been frustrated all night long, and now she's got a couple of quick baskets.
You know, and we talked a little bit about making sure the offense stayed spread out so Crystal could have room to operate in there, and they're doing a much better job of that.
Crystal's foul shot rims out. 21-point lead right now for Mary Washington. Green's got it. Down low, inside, and that is Barton scoring.
Yeah, that's a little bit too easy there. Chris Melinda already all the way back underneath the basket. All he had to do is just turn and shoot.
Boren's going to try to respond the other way, and she hits a two.
You know, and you kind of wonder, why couldn't this happen in the first half?
Yeah, the Knights have, since almost, 5, 6, 7 minute mark of the first half, they've basically played even or actually have scored more points than Mary Washington. But there's a jump shot by Comden from the right side up and in. Now it's a 23-point lead. Belliston tries to go all the way. Wild shot, no good. Rebound Comden.
You know, and we talked earlier about if it's not broke, don't fix it. And again, young players like to try to do more than what is necessary.
Barton couldn't hit an open look. Nice rebound by Howland, but the reverse layup is no good. Belliston's got the rebound. Doesn't really have the numbers. Tries to charge ahead. High dribble along the baseline. Scoop shot good.
And you know, Missy made that one. I'd much rather her pull it back out and run the offense and try to keep Crystal involved in the game. She just got into the game, keep her involved.
Foul inside of the Knights. 21-point lead right now for Mary Washington. So Kuroki picks that one up. That'll be her third. As the first foul shot by Megan Green is up and good. Conger, Afatazi, and Gambi checking in.
And now the Knights are going real small, with Ann being the tallest and probably the best post player out there.
Very athletic, quick lineup out there.
Yes. So I don't know if that means that they're going to try to press now, but we'll find out in just a few minutes.
And you almost have to at this stage, don't you, when you're down by 22, hoping for some turnovers?
Yeah, you do, but you still have to be careful with it, because if you're not, then they can run away and hide from you a whole lot faster.
Conger tried to hit a three, but it's an air ball. Got a foul called on Mary Washington, looks like. May go against Hoptel. She might have been trying to shield a Knights player away from trying to get that ball before it rolled out of bounds. Conger inbounding way outside to Belliston. Now Kuroki. Nice spin move. Shoots and hits. And the Knights have worked that lead down the 20. Oh, Gambi going to pick up a foul.
And again, Jamila has to understand that you put two hands on them, they're going to call that automatically. You can touch them once, but when you touch them again, it's all over with.
See if the Knights can make a stand and try to get this lead under 20. Nice defensive play by Belliston. Fast break to Gambi. Will she go all the way? Lays it up and in. And now the lead's down to 18. This lead at one point was over 30. Now, Mike, it's down to 18 points. Backdoor pass, shot missed. Gambi going to pick up a foul, it looks like. Or is it going to be Afatazi? Going to be Gambi picking it up. And Belliston looked like maybe she took a shot in the face.
Yeah.
So Arkansas going to replace her. And Gambi just picked up her fourth foul.
Yeah, and that's been her cross to bear all season long, is she can't stay out on the floor long enough to really get going. She picks up those really fast, cheap fouls.
Had a nice fast break layup the other way. That was her first basket tonight. And Gamby with those 4 fouls will check out, and Hartvigsen will replace her. Hoptel's foul shot good to make it a 19-point lead for Mary Washington. See if the Knights can cut into this lead even further. Kuroki outside to Arkansas. Hartvigsen was open for a 3. They didn't get the ball over to her. Now Kuroki's got it. And down the lane. And her shot no good. Tipped out of bounds. It'll go to Mary Washington. It looked like on the right side, Hartvigsen was open, had a little distance, but they just couldn't see her and get the ball to her for a potential 3-point shot.
Yeah, and that's part of Morgan's fault, too. She's got to get in the line of sight and let it be known that she's open.
Hoptel with the left-hander, no good. Arkansas's got the loose ball rebound. And the Knights trying to work it down to 16 or 17. 16 with the 3. Hartvigsen will launch that 3, and it's short. But there's Kuroki with the rebound, and she hits. And now what was a lead that was over 30 is now down to 17. And Mary Washington will call a timeout.
You know, and there's Ann Kuroki, the senior, putting the team on her back, saying, "Listen, if you can help me make stops, I'll help you on the offensive end." And we've seen her, you know, hit shots, create her own shots, create shots for other people, and then also go get her own offensive rebound.
Well, I'm sure Heather Roberts is saying, hey, you know, we got 14-24 to work with. This game's not over yet. We're still, you know, within 20. But even if they end up losing this one and they keep playing like this, it's got to be a positive sign for the next 2 ball games against York and Frostburg.
Exactly. Just as long as they don't go through those 10, 12-minute stretches of not being able to score and turning the ball over, live turnovers, and letting them score easy layups.
Yeah, when you get to those, what was it, 32-3, I think at one point. It was a 2-0 lead for Southern Virginia. Then it was 32-5. So when you get to a 32-3 run, that's hard to recover from.
It's very hard to recover from unless you can make your own 32-3 run. I don't think that's the Knights' makeup right now.
Right.
But what we're seeing right now is, you know, get a stop or 2, make sure you score, trade a basket or 2 with them, then get another stop or 2. That's the way the Knights can really play basketball and get into the mix of the conference.
Because the Knights, of course, Mike only have that one senior on the roster this year in Ann Kuroki.
And she's providing a lot of great leadership for the Knights. The rest of them, the underclassmen, are getting a lot of great experience and building up towards, you know, not only next year but for the following years to come.
You know, Mary Washington stumbling after they had that big 40-5 or 40-7 lead. Has it really been more about Southern Virginia, or has Mary Washington been misfiring too?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the Knights have started to play a little bit better defense, and not turning the ball over as much in a live ball situation, and I think the Mary Washington's kind of let down mentally also.
Howland got loose for a basket. There's a turnover for the Knights. Steal by Mary Washington. They come firing back the other way for a layup. Good by Erin Drumheller, and she's fouled. Chance at a 3-point play, and suddenly a little 4-0 run by Mary Washington puts what was a 17-point lead back up to 21.
And again, the turnovers lead to easy shots on the other end, and we've seen that twice right now, and the Knights just can't afford to keep turning the ball over at a high rate.
Free throw is up and good by Drumheller, the senior guard. So the Knights had it down to 17. Now it's back to 22. 57-35. Belliston looks over the defense. They go to Kuroki out top. Back to Belliston with 10 on the shot clock. Fires, misses. Conger tries to get the rebound. She's bumped. And apparently they're going to call it on the Conger. I thought maybe she was bumped by Drumheller.
I think she came over her back a little bit in her exuberance to try to get to the ball.
That's the way the referees see it. As Crystal Cleveland will check back in for Afatazi. Afatazi hasn't been too active tonight offensively, and she played pretty well last week on the road.
Yes, she did. And again, in that first half, we saw all the players on the inside not be comfortable because they're getting double and triple team consistently.
57-35, 22-point lead for Mary Washington. They're on a 5-0 run. Comden, jump shot, no good. Kuroki grabs the loose ball. Here comes Belliston up court to Hartvigsen. Belliston's pass knocked away, stolen away by Drumheller. Mary Washington works it down low to Howland, and Kuroki kicks that pass out of bounds.
And both the players from Mary Washington, Howland and Comden, got caught up underneath the basket. Lucky for the Knights, else that would have been a layup.
Shot clock's at 20. Listenby working on Cleveland. Baseline. And they're going to call it on Crystal, it looks like. Crystal thought maybe Listenby threw an elbow. Instead, Crystal Cleveland picks up her third foul.
No, and I think the referees bailed the shooter out there. She just turned and threw her arms up into Crystal and got the call.
Yeah, Listenby hits the first foul shot. She's a 5'11 junior. Hit them both. And now it is a 7-0 run for Mary Washington after the Knights had cut the lead to 17. Now it's 24. Conger will try a three. Couldn't hit it. And Cleveland trying to get the rebound, fouled by Listenby.
You know, and right now the Eagles of Mary Washington are into 1-1. The Knights are going to have to do a lot of work to get there.
Yeah, the Knights still have only 4 fouls on Mary Washington. So they're going to have to get fouled 3 more times to get to the foul line on a 1-on-1. Hartvigsen thought about taking the three, did not fire. Now she'll shoot it and hits it. That's her third three of the game.
And that's great for Morgan's confidence, but it's also great for her teammates to see her hit those shots because it's going to loosen a lot of things up for the inside.
Yeah, you're starting to think maybe, boy, you'd love to see her hit 4 or 5 threes a game.
And she has the ability and talent to do it.
Jump shot for Mary Washington is no good, but Listenby was able to grab the rebound.
You know, and now you'll probably see Mary Washington starting to bring the ball out to run the shot clock a little bit.
Oh, there's Comden with a baseline shot, and it rims out. Knights down by 21. Trying to get that lead back down under 20. Hartvigsen baseline, double team, shut off, fouled. Nope, are they going to say jump ball possession arrow? Boy, Hartvigsen hit the deck hard. There was no foul call, and on the possession arrow, it'll be Mary Washington's basketball.
And Morgan got down there to the baseline with nothing to do and picked up her dribble. That's again, once you get behind the backboard and you don't have someplace to actually pass the ball to ahead of time, it's not a good thing.
But that's not really her game, too, either, Mike. I mean, her obviously strength is outside shooting, not really driving along the baseline to the basket.
Yeah, I'd like to see her develop a little shot fake and 1, maybe 2 dribbles and pull up for a little jump shot because they're going to start coming out on her hard and heavy on the 3-point shots.
Knights looking for a turnover. Pass there is inside, stolen away. Kuroki's got it. Gamby over to the right to Conger. Kuroki had the ball swatted away. Good defense by Megan Green to knock that ball out of the hands of Kuroki.
You can see Mary Washington slowing up a little bit. They know the clock's on their side, so they're going to run a little bit of offense and look for a good shot.
Yeah, they get a backdoor pass, and Hoptel can't hit the shot inside. Cleveland has the rebound. Ahead to Belliston. Gamby will go baseline. Outside to Conger. She'll fire and miss. Big miss there for the Knights.
And you see the run out by 23, Sereno there. Good thing that they're trying to slow the ball down, or else that'd have been another layup.
The Conger's had some good looks at baskets tonight, just not able to hit. Listenby will fire from the baseline and miss. Nice rebound by Gamby.
Again, we got to go back, look to reverse the ball a little bit, find the opening, and feed Crystal on the ball reversal.
Belliston's going to fire a three, and it's going to go in.
The rim was kind, and the bank was open.
Yeah, once you get that initial bounce, you knew that ball was going to go through. Now it's an 18-point lead, 59-41, and a three-pointer. I'm not sure about that shot by Hoptel. Air ball. And very early in the shot clock. Conger up and no, but she's fouled. Now suddenly the Knights have a chance to get this lead with a couple of foul shots down to 16. Yeah, timeout will be taken by Mary Washington. Not sure the Mary Washington coaches, Mike, all that pleased about how things have gone since they had that 40-7 lead.
Yeah, I think it's she changed it from a 30-second to a full timeout now. So she's not happy at all with their offensive or defensive efficiency in these last about 6 or 7 minutes.
What have the Knights have been doing differently since we had all those runouts, basically in the first 10, 12 minutes of the ball game? I mean, it seemed like every time you looked around and turned around, there was a fast break by Mary Washington, and they've been few and far between since then.
They have been. They're getting the defensive balance back a little bit better. They're also making sure that they're on their offensive end, they're a little bit more spread out, better passing angles, and they're getting shots that they weren't getting at the beginning. That's going to slow the Mary Washington Eagles down a little bit.
So what can the Knights look for trying to get even closer with 9:57 to go?
They still have to stay with what they're doing right now. They can't try to get in any more hurry. They found a pace that's good for them. They got to keep at it. If it comes to them, great. If not, they have a great jumping off point for the next 2 games.
And they got Melinda Boren back into the game along with Hartvigsen as Conger misses the first foul shot. She has really struggled with her shooting tonight. Second foul shot. That one's no good. Well, Larissa's really having a tough night tonight.
She is having a tough night. It looks like the Knights are going to try to put some pressure on, and they got to be careful with this.
Hoptel's open for another three. Going to try it and miss it. Boren grabs the rebound. Knights, let's see if they try to break it here. Initially had the numbers, but they'll slow it up and look for a good shot now. Belliston giving up the dribble to Conger. Back outside to Belliston. Pass inside, knocked away. Just floating there, the loose ball picked up by Mary Washington. And Cenero is fouled, and she'll go to the foul line.
And that's being a little bit too close together. Missy was just too close to Ann, and you can't throw a hard pass when you're only 4 foot away from. You have to try to float it, and we see what happens there.
First foul shot is good. One thing's for sure, Mary Washington has shot pretty well from the foul line tonight.
They have, and again, it's just another well-drilled team, and they know that when it gets down to crunch time, people are going to be fouling them, trying to slow things down or having to come out and foul them to get the ball back. So this is one thing that they really practice.
19-point lead after that missed foul shot. I'm just not sure Mary Washington has anybody who can handle, let's say, a Hackett from Salisbury.
No, I think it's going to be she's a difference maker.
Boren scores inside. Lead is now down to 17. The Knights have made some big comebacks this season. Go back to that non-conference game against St. Augustine. And, of course, the Wesley game, where they ended up losing by 1, and there's a jump shot up and in by Cenero.
And Cenero just took Morgan Harpensing down there and buried her underneath the basket. Good offensive strategy for the Eagles, but the Knights want to do a little bit better.
Belliston double teamed and then got bumped and then got off balance and travels with the ball, and she was looking for the foul, I think.
That are trying to force things to happen. And again, like we talked about earlier, the Knights have found a pace that they're comfortable with. It's working for them offensively and defensively. They have to stay with that pace and not try to force anything.
And she's not on the floor right now, but, Crystal Cleveland had that little offensive flurry and just kind of disappeared after that.
Well, it started to go away from her. Crystal can only do so much. She can post up, but she can't pass the ball to herself. And she had that flurry, and then all of a sudden they started to go away from her, trying to look for outside shots. And you got to feed the hot player.
Canby almost got the steal, couldn't reach the ball. Hopple gets it back. She's fouled by Arkansas. 1-1 coming up for Mary Washington. And still just 5 team fouls on Mary Washington. You wonder if the Knights will get to the 1-1 before the 8:25 on the clock expires.
Yep. It looks like that's gonna be it for Jamila Gamby.
That'll be her 5th. Gamby actually picked up that foul, not Arkansas. Well, the Knights have all the tools here, Mike, and the components. It's just a matter of kind of putting it all together game by game and piece by piece.
Yep, and trying to find out, who's going to be what role they're going to play and play that role, not trying to go outside the roles. Basketball is all about role playing, and if you accept those roles and play those roles well, that's when you develop a great team.
And obviously, try not to do things either that you're not supposed to do or not capable of, I guess.
Yeah, and there we have Ann trying to box out and gets called for a foul. And now double bonus for the Eagles the rest of the way.
And that was Ann's 4th foul as well. So after Mary Washington missed the foul shot, they get their own rebound, get a foul, and go back to the foul line and hit the first foul shot as Howland is able to make it. Crystal Cleveland checks in for Kuroki. Second shot short, 20-point lead right now for Mary Washington. They grab the rebound.
And you just can't give that up.
Comden spins, fouled. She'll go to the foul line.
And now you're starting to see some of the road-tested players for the Eagles starting to step up. Comden and Howland. They've been in these situations before and had to grow up through them too. So they're using their experience against the Knights. Now the Knights, the young players out there are gaining all this experience and be able to put that into play, hopefully sooner than later. Would like to see them put it into play in the next couple games.
Now, Mary Washington, if they win tonight, going to have their 10th win. If the Knights lose, they'll have their 10th loss.
We talked about the Knights will be playing York and Frostburg, 2 teams that haven't won any games in the CAC. The 3rd game is against Wesley, which I believe they should have won here if they would have made some adjustments earlier in the game. And that's 3 games in a row that they can and should win.
There's Crystal Cleveland high near the foul line, spinning, had the ball pop loose, and they're going to call a foul on Mary Washington. Yeah, we're talking at halftime with Tony Caputo, and his team's only got 2 wins, but then again, they've had a lot of close calls at home. What was it, the game against Marymount, and
Yes.
a couple other games at home, and certainly they've had a 1 or 2 road games where they had the lead late in the second half.
Late in the game, yeah. Late. Christopher Newport comes to mind where
Yeah.
they were up by 10 with 5 minutes to go. And
of course, this is past a road trip, too. So,
Yes.
I mean, this is a situation where the Knights have 2 wins. Arguably could easily have anywhere from 5 to 7.
yeah, and it all comes down to 1 or 2 plays in the game. You play 40 minutes to get to those 1 or 2 plays, and that just changes the whole complexion of the game.
Crystal hits them both. Knights trail here, 65-45, with 7:47 to go. Hoptel not shy about taking that 3, misses again, and Boring grabs the rebound. See if the Knights could try to get this down to maybe around 15 or so in the next couple of minutes. Cleveland tries to get down low with the pass.
Yeah, Hoptel keeps on firing those threes and missing, and the Knights keep on going down and doing something good on the offensive end, either making the shot or getting to the free throw line as Crystal has the last 2 times. They can pull the game back to them.
Not sure if Mary Washington wants to see that 3, and certainly I'm not sure they want to see it that early in the shot clock.
Yeah, I don't think the Mary Washington coach is very happy, and I'm sure she'll be talking to her on the way home about some of those shots she's been taking.
Crystal hits the first foul shot to knock that lead down to 19. Crystal's second shot is no good. Left that one a little short. She's had a hard time after she makes the first one, hit the second one, it seems,
and
tonight.
usually the opposite, other way around.
Yeah. 19-point ball game.
She has continued to work to get to the free throw line. So
Listenby backs her way and misses, but there's a rebound for Howland, and Cleveland thought she got all ball, but apparently I assumed they're going to say body.
I think she did get her a little bit with her lower body.
Is that her fourth foul now? Yep. Campy's already fouled out. Kuroki's got 4. Cleveland's got 4. And Mary Washington makes the first foul shot. So the Cleveland will check out along with Boren.
And this will expand the game, lengthen the game now because of all the free throws that we're going to see. But although that's one of the issues that the Knights have is time is against them. So anytime the time stops, if they can get more possessions during the game, it'll be better for them.
Arkansas threw it away.
Again, trying to force the ball in off the first pass instead of reversing the ball. I go back to the first position the Knights had in the second half where they went from one baseline all the way to the other baseline and got a wide open shot. That's something we just need to see more of.
And Howland with a nice move to the basket, and suddenly the lead is now 23 for Mary Washington. Knights down by 23. Steal. Arkansas lost the ball. Drumheller comes up with it and hits.
And Ann couldn't be very aggressive knowing that it was her fourth foul that she had. Couldn't go for the block.
And now the lead is 25. Knights had gotten this thing down to 17, Mike, and now Mary Washington has kind of blown it open here back to 25 with 6:30 to go. And one of the reasons the Knights have seen the 17-point deficit balloon back to 25 is turnovers.
Turnovers, and again, live ball turnovers where Mary Washington's been able to run out on them.
Belliston, one dribble, over to Afatazi, lost it on the floor. Jump ball possession arrow will favor the Knights.
Only 9 seconds on the shot clock, Jim. They're going to get the ball in 1 or 2 passes and put the shot up.
Crystal will check back in. She's got 4 fouls. Kuroki, who's also got 4, checks out. Stay with us. About 20 minutes after this game's over, we'll have the men's contest as Crystal Cleveland is fouled, and she'll go to the foul line to shoot 2. Had a pretty good chance of maybe trying to make it a 3-point play, but her shot wouldn't fall.
You know, we're seeing a lot of little bump fouls being called now in these last 5 or 6 minutes, and I kind of wonder, and I'm sure both coaches wonder, where were those in the first half,
yeah.
too?
They let them play in the first half.
They were playing hockey in the first half, a lot of hip checks going on, but now a little bump and they're calling the foul.
Crystal misses the first one. Apparently the players thought it was a 1-on-1, but it was a 2-shot foul. Listenby was the one who picked up that foul. That was her 4th. Cleveland's second shot is good. Nope, they're going to wave it off. Lane violation.
We're going to say that Crystal got across the line before the ball was hit the rim.
That might have been a good call. It kind of looked a little awkward there. Mary Washington works it down low to Listenby. She'll fire and left it short. Crystal Cleveland's got the rebound.
And that time we saw rim protectors back for the Knights on that press, which is something that we always want to see.
Bellison's pass knocked away and intercepted. Kind of a tough passing lane she tried to go through. Howland misses the layup. Knights get it right back down by 25. Would you like to see Morgan shoot more, I guess, even with a defender close? I mean, a quick release kind of 3-pointer as opposed to an open look.
Yeah, especially on some ball reversals. You know, if she can take a shot with the defender 2 or 3 feet away from her, that's going to draw them up a little bit further. That's where I said earlier I'd like to see her develop a little shot fake and 1 or 2 dribble and pull up for the shot.
Megan Green hits a 3. That might have been the final nail in the coffin. Now it's a 28-point lead with 4:52 to go.
And again, Coach Roberts needs to maybe call a timeout, refocus the young ladies for the next 3 games. I mean, that's 3 games that could get them to 4 wins in the conference, and that would put them up close to the 6th spot.
Hardvigsen hits the jump shot, a 2-pointer from the baseline. We mentioned Frostburg and York coming up, and even the one beyond that in Wesley is a very winnable contest on the road.
Yes, it is. Again, Wesley's a little bit better than they were last year, but they're still very beatable. And if we didn't have all those live ball turnovers against them, it'd have been a whole different game.
Green gets free, shoots, misses. But there's Listenby with the rebound, and her follow shot no good. 26-point ball game. Belliston tries to go coast to coast, and she misses a wild shot. And the rebound to Mary Washington.
And this is where you don't want to get out of control right now. Just keep on working your offense and working your defense.
Hoptel misses another jumper. I guess at this stage, up by 26, it doesn't matter too much. No one seems to be going ballistic on the Mary Washington bench.
Yeah, but I'm sure when they break the film down and start looking at things, those shots are very quick in the shot clock, and you can't do that against the Salisburys and the Marymounts and the Christopher Newports, because that can cost you games.
74-48. Crystal Cleveland will go to the foul line here, trying to cut this lead down to maybe 25 or 24. And the first foul shot is good. Crystal really struggled in the first half in the scoring column, but has had a much better second half, scoring a lot from the foul line.
And a lot of that has to do with their teammates giving her the ball and being away from her and not letting the man that was guarding them crash down on her.
74-50 as Boren checks in for Cleveland. Knights with that backcourt pressure, trying to get a turnover. Mary Washington breaks the pressure. Megan Green. Outside steal by Afatazi. Nice steal. Tries to go for the layup. Out of control, misses the shot. No foul called. And Heather Roberts really wanted a foul called, and now we're going to have a foul called on the other end for the Knights.
And it'd been nice to see Tavani go to a jump stop, give a little shot fake, make sure of the contact,
right, yeah,
that the referees could see that, and then power up through it.
Try to get at least 2 free throws and maybe even a 3-point play.
I worked with a coach that was the sacred sin going off of 1 foot for the layup. Everybody had to go off of 2 feet if you're in the lane, and that got us to the free throw line a lot.
Leaning a little bit, maybe?
Leaning into them, making sure that we go off of a power base, just letting the referees know that we were in control of the ball and not just trying to look for a foul.
Free throw makes it 75-50 with 3:22 to go. Kuroki will fire a long 3 and hits it. Cuts the lead to 22. Well, the Knights have actually scored more points than Mary Washington way back in the first half when they were trailing by in and around 33 to 35 points. Now down by 22.
But they've allowed themselves to be taken away with multiple runs. Not so much the 30-2 runs that we saw earlier, but the 7-0 runs or the 11-2 runs.
Yeah, because there was at one point, what about 5-6 minutes ago, when the Knights actually had this lead down to 17.
17 points. And then all of a sudden there was a 5 or 6 point turnaround in a run there by the Eagles, which put them back into the lead that's been insurmountable.
As you mentioned, the Knights, Mike, the Knights next will be playing on the road at York and then back here at home against Frostburg a week from today.
And we should see see really good games there, especially on the Knights end, as long as they can maintain the ball.
And a steal by Belliston. Stolen away from Kayla Parks. Belliston goes all the way, lays it up and in. Great athletic move by Missy Belliston. Cuts the lead down the 20. Fast break the other way. Barton's free, and Belliston is able to get back, put a hand on the ball and on Barton to send her to the foul line for 2.
But still, no rim protector. People coming up, trying to take away passing angles that they don't need to, and allowing the ball to go over the top of their head.
That was Belliston's 4th foul. Knights, I believe, now have 3 players with 4. Of course, Gambia already fouled out. But Cleveland, Kuroki, and Belliston all have 4. So what's your prediction, Mike? Will we have more than one player foul out today? Because we got 3 on the fringe.
I believe we will have one more foul out with the pressing that the Knights are going to try to do. They're going to take a few gambles, try to go for the steals.
So your prediction is Belliston's going to foul out?
Belliston or Kuroki. Maybe Crystal going for some rebounds.
Crystal with a nice shot inside.
Nice move.
Cuts the lead to 18. Closest the Knights have been, really 17 points. Right now down by 18. Closest since the opening minutes of the game when Mary Washington went on a big run. Cleveland was able to knock the ball away. Picked up by Comden. She shoots and scores.
And you saw Ann back off because she wants to stay out on the floor for those last 2 minutes.
Doesn't want to be part of your prediction.
Doesn't want to be part of it, which would be fine if I'm wrong. I'd be very happy to be wrong.
Boren is fouled inside. Afatazi Conger going to check in for Hartvigsen.
And that was 5 on Condon. 2 minutes left to go in the game. It's not a big thing, but you know those are little things that you never want to see as a coach, having some of your better players foul out.
Boren's foul shot, good. Afatazi will check in for Boren after this free throw. And she hits it. Here comes Afatazi with the lead down to 18. Right, scored the first 2 points of the game, and then watch Mary Washington go on a 32-3 run to take a 32-5 lead. And Mary Washington got that lead to 33, maybe 35 points. The Knights since then have been able to get it down to 17. Right now it's 18.
And I won the Vegas bet there as Missy Belliston fouled out.
Yeah, you said either Belliston or Kuroki, and Missy was the one who picked up that foul.
Yeah, going for a steal.
Now we still got 2:02 to go. We still have Kuroki and Crystal with 4 fouls. We'll see if either one of them pick up a 5, their 5th foul. You also wonder, Mike, how the Knights, both the men's and women's team, obviously, are adjusting to these road trips.
They are some tough road trips, and you know, school started just this week, so they're trying to get back into that routine. They've been out of that routine for 6 weeks now.
What's your least favorite trip on the road in the Capital Conference? Either because of the arena or just the trip itself?
The arena and the trip was Wesley.
Okay.
And
is this the one? Is this the one with the big glass opening?
No, that was St. Mary's.
Okay.
And I can't say it's the Wesley trip is a very long trip, and the other reason why is it was snowing. It was in Delaware. Great shot by Morgan Harperson there. There's that quick shot that you were talking about.
Yeah, Morgan's got 4, maybe 5 now, threes for the ball game, and has cut this lead to 17. You just hope she keeps firing like this in the last half of the season.
Yeah, it'd be nice for her to keep on putting the ball up as much as she has tonight. Again, that opens up so much more for the rest of her teammates.
And the Knights have cut the lead to 17 with 1:52 to go.
Yeah, it's just a long trip to Delaware, and you have to go, and obviously it's
No
in the
easy way to get
wintertime.
there, right?
Yeah, there's no easy way to get there. It's wintertime, so there's always snow up there, and so you never know what you're going to find. Are you going to get stuck? Just a rough trip. And I'm
What
sure
is it, about 5, 6, 7 hours?
about 6 hours.
Okay.
And I'm sure they say the same thing about us because this is their longest trip too, is down to us. So
And that's coming up for the Knights on January the 24th, a week from Saturday.
yeah, they'll probably leave Friday, right after practice or maybe even before practice, and try to get up there and get settled in,
Stay overnight.
stay overnight.
For how many of these road trips do they stay overnight for basketball now?
One, maybe two.
Okay.
Not-
They go to York on Saturday now. York's not really a overly bad trip.
No,
That's
it's-
mostly 81.
Mostly 81, and again, about four and a half hours is the trip. But it's just not there's not any real easy trips. Even going to Mary Washington or to Marymount, you have to go through D.C., and it's just not easy.
Conger got the steal, but then Mary Washington gets it right back in the backcourt. See if Mary Washington get it across the timeline. It's going to be Southern Virginia basketball with 1:10 to go. Leads at 17 right now. Will this be something to see if nothing else? The Knights get this to single digits at the end.
Oh, if they could get it to under 10, it'd be a major boost in confidence.
Boren inbounding to Kuroki. Boy, I hadn't really thought about taking a three, it looked like, from way downtown. Arkansas's pass inside. Foul called on Mary Washington.
This could get it down to 15 points.
And Listenby, I think she just fouled out.
So we've had a foul fest in the second half because
Yeah,
the first half.
two foul out for Mary Washington, or is that their first?
It's their second because Comden
That's right.
fouled out also.
Yep. So 2 for each team. As you mentioned, Mike, a lot of these fouls are coming in the second half. I think in the first half, as far as total fouls, just 18 total between the two teams in the first half.
So hardly any, and there was only 3 people that had 2 fouls on them.
Crystal Cleveland hits the first one, cuts the lead down to 16. I believe that's the closest the Knights have been since the opening minutes when Mary Washington went on that big run in the first half. And Crystal got them both that time. Knights trying to get the turnover. Mary Washington breaks the pressure. Down to 55 seconds to go. Knights apparently not going to foul here.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Mary Washington takes a shot with the shot clock over 10.
There's a foul on Afatazi from behind. And that was send Barton to the foul line. Barton, first foul shot, rims out.
So this big comeback has been a combination of the Knights playing a lot better, offensively, defensively, but also Mary Washington shutting down a little bit. We got a big lead. We don't have to play as hard. And
Yeah, they didn't really look to see to really look for the fast break as much as they did in the first 10 minutes of the ball game.
It's just a little complacency on their part.
Harvickson inside to Cleveland, shoots, scores, and she's fouled. Now the lead is down to 14. Then the Knights will be on the road coming up on Saturday at York, Pennsylvania, then back home for a doubleheader against Frostburg next Wednesday. Starts at 5:30. First foul shot is no good. Trying to complete a three-point play. Breakout on the layup to Drumheller. Didn't take it. Backs it off with 20 seconds to go. See if they'll just try to run the clock out now.
But this second half, if the Knights will play like this for the rest of the season, good things will happen for them here and on the road.
They scored, by my count, 49 in the second half. Trailed 43-17 at halftime and outscored Mary Washington in the second half. And that's the final score, 80-66. So a much better second half, Mike, as the Knights actually score 49 points in that second half.
Not bad, but we'd like to see that 49 points in the first half also.
Yeah, the Knights with the loss today, they dropped to 1-6 in the Capital Conference, 3-10 overall. And Mary Washington now 10 wins on the season, and again, just that one loss they've had so far in the Capital Conference.
Yeah, and there's a real battle there for second place, as you got Mary Washington and Christopher Newport. Salisbury looks like they're going to run away and hide from everybody. Most of their games now, the hard games, are going to be at their place, so I don't see anybody really tipping them up.
It's going to be hard for any opponent in the Capital Conference to overcome Hackett and Sipe.
It is, and as long as those two play smart, and they have for the last 3 years, and can stay healthy, which is the big key, they should run out the rest of the table.
We'll have to check the final numbers, but again, a much better second half on the Knights. They scored 49 in the second half, Mike, and they got a lot of performances in that second half. Crystal Cleveland had a big second half. Morgan Hardvigson lighting it up from three-point range.
Yeah, and again, Morgan, it's great to see her hit those three-point shots, not only for her confidence and for the team's scoring potential, but that really opened things up on the inside for Crystal too, because when they put those two on the same side, you couldn't sag off on Crystal, or you couldn't leave Morgan alone. So we need to see more of that as we go through the rest of the season.
So once again, the final score in game number one, it was Southern Virginia falling to Mary Washington 80-66. Stay with us in just a few minutes. We'll have the men's contest between the Knights of Southern Virginia University and the Eagles of Mary Washington. So stay with us. We'll have the men's contest coming up in just a few minutes.